So, I get the job, right? So, uh, I got some real static with this black cat in there, but also there's a female cop named Earthman. She's on the yard. And then there's this other cop who's now a lieutenant that was up in Salinas Valley with me. He was a sergeant, but now he's a lieutenant. And he was kind of tripping. And then he came and he was saying something about whatever. I says, no. I was saying about me being violent. I said, no, I'm not violent. I'm a Buddhist. He said, oh, I'm violent. He said, let me tell you something. He says, we know. I don't know where he's getting this shit from. He said, we know you motherfucking, killed this and that, blah, blah, blah. So we know that, and then we know if we suspect you. Other guy said, you got me fucked up. So I kind of got this little thing going with Earthman. Listen, I got a cane because of my fucked up knee and stuff. So, but I get the gloves and the wrap stuff, and I work the heavy bag. So she's seeing me work the heavy bag, and she's saying, there ain't nothing wrong with this motherfucker. Look the way he works the bag. So I tell her, so she pulls me over to medical to see if I got a illegal cane or something. I said, no. They said, no, he's got a cane. I said, let me tell you something. What part don't you understand about being mobility impaired, like having a fucked up wheel? There's nothing wrong with my hand. It's the fucking leg. So I had a little thing going with her. Well, also because I run the law library, I got to do a lot of work, a lot of copying and all that. I run all the ad say at Ironwood for all the group fighter cases. The cop that runs SEG and runs the legal program over there calls my legal tech, the one I work for. She calls me in the office, puts me on the phone. I just tell them, bring me all the shit, tell them, and I do everything. I research this. I do everything, right? So I got access to the copier. Well, they having access to the copier, I do other things with the copier too. So, and some of the things I do would be like porn and whatever. I'm like the Larry Flint of motherfucking Ironwood. So what happens is one day they're doing a search down in the wreck shack and then coming up to another little thing and then chaff because they found some outfits and some handball cans down the wreck shack. So they search shit. Well, I'm a critical worker because I run the law library shit. I actually run the law library thing, not only for my yard, but for all yards. So whenever they got problems in other yards, the law clerks, they have their LKs call mine. They put me on the phone with them and I do what I do. So anyhow, a dude gave me a magazine, a colored magazine, a new magazine, no hardcore porn, but it's all peanuts. And some pretty Mexican girls, five motherfuckers, they're all naked and all that. They're not fucking or nothing. So he says, listen, make me a copy of this and then do what you do. So I always make a master copy and put it away. I got it stashed. And then I make him his copy and this and that, blah, blah, blah. That's how I work that. And then I make, I'll make packages, 50, 60, 70, 80 page magazines of porn, hardcore porn, all kinds of porn, or just naked women, whatever. Well, this day I was bringing that magazine in. I just got in there. My office is locked. Here comes a search and escort teams, and they keep rushing me to step up and search that file. So I left my shoulder there, and there was bathroom on shit. Well, they went through it. One pulled out this magazine and naked chick. The other cop told him, I'll just put it back. But the fucking female LTA seen it. She said, man, tell Roger, I came in, she's wrestling, grab your stuff, just go home for a day. I said, so the thing is they're fucking calling themselves, right? It's what they want.
Jeez.
Six. All right. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
To be continued. I'll get back with you in a minute. I got to put on the 6 o'clock. I don't know what. They're not having sex now. It's just mood shots, right? And so they send me home. Well, the sergeant that on the yard that really didn't care for me, he told the cops. He says, pull Greshner and his cellie out of their cell and go through every piece of paper in Greshner's cell, looking for basically porn, I guess. So what happened is they're going through it and they find an envelope with some hair in it, my hair, and they called the squad lieutenant, the ISU lieutenant down there, investigative service unit lieutenant. He's tripping. I said, that's my old lady. She wants that fucking hair. I said, you know how females are. They fucking want little locks to your hair and shit. They said, okay, he ain't tripping. So then they found two big stacks, probably about 15 inches high each, of manila envelopes filled with porn, all kinds of porn. So they're confiscating that. And then because they were cutting down on staff at that time, which is in 2012, they're cutting down with staff because of shit in the California Department of Corrections or whatever. So they're cutting down on law library access. So the LTA, Penny Killstrap, who I work for, she said, John, take all the shit from your office and from the legal thing and all the copies you need to make and everything else and forms and all that, habeas corpus forms, everything, and take them to your cell so you have them in your cell. So the day that we're not here and it's not open and they don't have access to the law library, they can call over your block and then you can get forms and then go over to your cell box and bring them what they need, right? I said, okay, so I got all this stuff. Well, when they switched out that yard from a level 3 to a level 4, the security increased. Well, I'm always doing new legal updates, administrative law things come down from the legislature, all these different things. And what I'm doing is I'm either getting rid of old stuff and putting new stuff up, or I'm archiving old stuff that needs to go into the archives and whatever, right? But I also have a lot of regulation stuff that I'm taking back to my cell because they're getting people's access to the law library is getting cut down. So if they need to read these regulations, whatever, I got them and I can go see them. Well, it just so happens when this was a level 3 on the back of a lot of these regulations, they got the blueprints to the prison. Now, sewer systems, electrical things, whatever, they're just kind of like block blueprints and all that. Well, so I got all that myself. Well, these are the things they told me that they gave to me and then told me to store it in myself, right? So now they start finding this shit in myself. You call the squad lieutenant back, they cuff me up, take me to the fucking program office, put me in the fucking little phone booth, and then I'm cuffed. He calls me in his office. He says, "Listen, man." He says, "You got a colorful history." He says, and I'm going to tell you something. He says, "Man, they found this stuff in your cell." I said, "Yeah, but you gave it to me." They said, "Well, listen, this is shit." So he said, "I'm not going to put my dick on a chopping block." He said, "I got to put you in SAG, and if somebody hired me captains or whatever, got to resolve this issue." I said, "All right." So they send me over to SAG. And then the law library cop, or the guy that does the legal shit over at SAG, he's pulling me out to put me on his cop here and help him do shit when I'm helping guys in SAG do the fucking legal shit. Even the cops sitting at the podium in SAG are laughing because I'm sitting out in handcuffs with this cop at the fucking copier, showing him how to do shit and copy shit and do whatever, right? So anyhow, they give me a fucking incident report for the fucking the porn, and they called me in to hear it. And the same lieutenant that told me, he ain't going to put his dick in a chopping block. He's hearing the thing. He said, "Well, I'm going to find you guilty of porn." He said, "That ain't that bullshit." He says, "But I'm going to tell you something. The captain, the black captain, was trying to put together an escape package on you to put you in the shoe for planning your escape." He says, "But they aren't going to be able to do that." He says, "They're going to have to let you back out of the yard because you really didn't do nothing wrong." He was laughing. He says, "So," he said, "at least I'm not connected." He says, "In case you happen to disappear and start sending motherfuckers letters from Buenos Aires, Argentina or something," he said, "it ain't going to tie me up in this shit." So I go to the hearing on that, the classification hearing on that. This black captain's trying to get me. Well, there's a black captain that's the acting warden named McKinney, and they're squabbling over it. So the acting warden says, "Hey, Greshner, step out from it." I said, "Well, I hear them in their house." So then they call me back in. The black warden says, "Look, Greshner," She said, this is our bad. This ain't even got nothing to do with you. You were doing your job. You're doing everything you're supposed to. We fucked up. We didn't take all these blueprints out when it went from a level 3 to a level 4. And we didn't fucking take that shit out. And we gave the shit to you. It's not even your bad. You did absolutely nothing wrong. However, now that you know all our blueprints and floor plans, with your history, we don't feel comfortable with you in our prison no more. So we're just going to move you on, and you can start over wherever you start over at. Because I had a dirty UA for shooting some speed one time. They had a black lieutenant, a female. She was, died cool, right? She called me into the motherfucking hearing, and I sat down. There was a young black cop in there for security, and she said, I told her, I'm cool. She says, I read your C-file, your jacket. I said, I don't think you did. I said, when I left the feds, I had minimally 43 volumes. She said, well, I don't know if I'll let you go. I know if they compacted your shit down, you got 2.5 volumes. She says, I read it. She said, these are her exact words. She said, I'm going to tell you something. Reading your fucking jacket was just like going to the fucking movies. All I needed was popcorn. That's literally what she told me, right? She told me, you come a long way, baby. That was her exact fucking words, right? So they're moving on, so they shoot me up the fucking high desert. They CTQ me up there, and then they, like on the 8th day or whatever, they take me to classification. The case manager there, this Puerto Rican chick, they call the case managers in CDC, they call them counselors, right? So she said, oh, here's our little Houdini. And plus they were mad at me because while I'm in that SEG in Ironwood, guys are coming to me that have DA referrals for assaults or drugs or whatever, and I'm helping them put shit together. And once I do it, even though the DA has accepted their case for prosecution, now they're refusing to prosecute. So the squad has put notes in my C-file saying, don't let this motherfucker help anybody with legal shit. He's fucking up all our DA referrals for criminal prosecutions. So I get up there, they call me in, they got a bunch of captains, AWs and all that in the fucking classification thing, and they just want to kind of go through this whole trip with me and go over my files. And when I got there, guys that were working in the program office came back, they were laughing, and they told me, they said, man, they're paranoid of you. They took your ID and blew it up in the wanted posters, and they hung them in the program office, in medical, and all regular officers. It gives all your pedigrees, all your actions, the shit you're in jail for, your background, everything. And it's saying, do not remove these motherfucking wanted posters. This to alert everybody. And every time I leave the cell block, the gunner in our block gets on the radio and calls the sound of the gun and says, yeah, he's leaving the fucking cell block now. And they're watching me. And my gunner, when I'm leaving the block every now and then, he'll get the gun cage on the front of the block, look at me, lick his fingers, run along the barrel of Mini 14, right? So I just look at him. So finally one day he licked his fingers. And I said, yeah, I can take it. I said, I've been known to do some motherfucking shooting off my own, my goddamn stuff. I've been known to fucking get gunplay too, right? And he looked at me and stopped it after that, right? So, but the thing is, so now I'm in high desert, and I'm in fucking 3 blocks, and there's a crick next to me at Long Beach named Frog, and he's going through it with the cops. So he tells me, hey, John, I need help. I told him, you ready to fight? He says, yeah. I said, are you really ready to fight? Because we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it with him. But at the end of the day, we're going to win. He says, okay. So I said, all right, let's go. So I started doing it. Before it was all said and done, I went to the streets and everything else, got a bunch of shit going on. They pulled him down to the gym and told him, look, we're done. We like our jobs. We don't want to lose our jobs. We're done fucking with, So he won. Then he says, who's that motherfucker that's got that typewriter? Well, it was me. So then they gave me an ADA job, pushing motherfuckers around in wheelchairs. They should give something. Get him off that fucking typewriter. He's fucking us up, right? Because when I came up from Ironwood, they were holding on to my property for a long time. They weren't giving it to me. And then my old lady calls in and says, man, what you fucking with my husband shit for? She said, I want to talk to the warden. And the secretary said, well, we're not going to let you talk to the warden. And she says, I'm a citizen. I got a right to talk to the warden. They said, well, we're not going to let him. My old lady says, check this out, bitch. We know who you are, and we know where the fuck you're at. We'll drive up there and see your ass. So right after that, they immediately kidnapped me, took me to Squad took me to the fucking whole IGI, the game investigators, the ISU, took me to the fucking hole, slammed me, and they're only supposed to keep you slammed before you go to a regular cell and add things for 10 days. At like 25 days, finally I fucking see a letter to warden. The fuck you still got me on quarantine for? So then they moved me over into the regular thing, gave me the cell and all that and say. So what's happening is then the feds got to come and see me because I'm a contractor at least once a year. Well, they come up from Sacramento. They said, what are you in the hole for? And I run it down and I tell them, listen, my old lady's got a right to want to see the warden and all this shit, blah, blah, blah. Because the squad came in and seen me. And they're the ITI that handles white gangs, he's telling me, and another white ITI guy that handles the south side, he's in there. And they keep throwing shit at me, blah, 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 and talk about terrorist threats and charging me, my old lady, with terrorist threats. So I said, go ahead. I'm going to put you motherfuckers on trial. That's who's going on trial. This joint's going on trial. So finally, the motherfucking feds that are reviewing my contract and all, they said, what are you here for? And I explained to them, we're going to see the warden. It wasn't even a day later, I'm kicked out, back out to the mainland. And then all of a sudden, my property comes in, right? So now I fast forward, I helped Todd with his shit and all that. And now I got a fucking ADA job. And all the motherfuckers on the yard want me to do it to help push them around, take care of their shit and all that. And I was up on High Desert. High Desert's normal shit. It's, same old regular stuff. All this regular shit's going on. You got all the tips, you got all the dope, you got all the everything, right? But I'm doing good. And then they fucking drive up one day and tell me, you're getting transpacked. And a week before that, I just went to my year of classification. They said, continuing present program in High Desert, this is the right spot for you. And I told, shocked me, one of the cops, because I'm on close A custody, so they got to, check me out early, like in noon count and then 8 o'clock count and all that shit. So he came up and he said, man, you're going to have to fucking get rid of some of this fucking property. You got shit everywhere. And he says, you're transpacked, you're leaving. I said, man, I just went classification, so we know that. And even your case manager doesn't know what the fuck's going on. So I've seen this other cop, Barton, and he's cool, and I caught him on the yard when I went up the yard. He's coming across the yard. I said, come here. I said, man, where am I going? You can tell me. I can say that. He said, I don't give a fuck. I tell you. He says, all it says is SAC. SAC ... And I thought, damn, that sounds like the feds. And the other guy saying, no, you're going to New Folsom, CSP SAC and blah, 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 and all this and that. Well, the next week, they transferred me. The next week, I kept the bus out. I go to motherfucking New Folsom, but they throw me in the hole. I go in there with two white dudes. They go into the regular line. They tell me, you're going to ASU overnight. The marshals are picking me up in the morning. So the marshals, they pulled me out in the morning. Marshals were picking me up. I said, what about all my property? Because I got 5 big boxes of property. And they said, man, we can't carry it. And R&R is saying, listen, man, wherever you go to, have your people call us, we'll send it to you. I said, yeah. I'm thinking, well, there goes the property, right? And the marshals tell them, you're going to Sacramento County Jail. You're only going to be there a couple of days. You're going to catch up. They're going to come and get you. You're going to catch a flight out. And I say, well, what's going on? They said, it ain't you. We already carried a couple other guys out before you that were federal prisoners and other contractors. They're pulling the plug because they took the California medical and the federal receivership because they had a class action going on for 20 years. They took it in federal receivership and told them you got to lower the populations. And the population at the time was over 190-some-thousand. So they said you got to lower it. So they're getting rid of everybody. So I'm in the Sac County Jail actually over 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden I catch a fucking bus ride on a TCA, Transportation Corporation of America. And they take me down to a fucking private detention center in the Southern Nevada Detention Center outside Pahrump, Nevada. And they throw me in a motherfucking hole. I've been on morphine because I got bad fucking hernia mesh, and they had me on morphine for over 2 years. So I go in there and I tell them, hey, you got my meds? No, we don't give out narcotics here, so I'm going to kick a morphine, Jones. Yeah. When we drove up to Intel, a dude and a chick come up. They called me off the fucking bus first. They said, you Gretchen? I said, yeah. They says, why do you have so many fucking separations? I said, there are a lot. They said, yeah, look, this big stack of papers. It's all separations. I guarantee you, 98, maybe 99% of them, I don't even know who the fuck they are. These are all separations from AB and ME. Every time motherfuckers get separations from ME, I get to AB and vice versa. That's how it works. So he said, well, I put you in the hole. I said, you ain't got to put me in the hole. You just put me in a regular fucking black relief hole. We got to run a make-up. So they ran my federal number and got my background. They said, oh, you're going to the fucking hole. So they threw me in the hole. And, you know, for the next 5 days, I kick a morphine jump. And it's in November. And in the desert, in November, it's fucking cold, especially at night. I'm in a freezing cell. And in the private joints, they give you, during holidays, just for Thanksgiving, they gave me a 20-ounce bottle of some off-brand soda and a chocolate bar. I ate the chocolate bar, drank the soda, and now I'm filling the soda bottle up with hot water, and I'm fucking in my fucking boxers, curled up around it, keeping my core cold or warm. And that's how I kicked that fucking morphine habit. And when I was done, I'm up and running, exercising. So I was there 2 weeks, and they picked me up, take me into Oklahoma, a little tiny fucking spot in Oklahoma. I kept the Stringer flight. And they throw a bunch of us on a little orange school bus. It's a jailhouse bus. Take us into a little county jail. I'm the first motherfucker to get out the bus again. Well, they take me and put me in a gym. There's nothing in there. There's a phone, but you got to have access code. And all the windows are open. And this is now, it's early December, and it's fucking freezing. And they put everybody else, at least this normal dude, they put them in fucking a dormitory. And they leave me up in this motherfucker in a t-shirt, a pair of flip-flops, a pair of fucking old fucking stretch pants, elastic band pants, leg irons, fucking black box waist chain handcuffs for 12 hours in this motherfucker. And I'm fucking fixing. So finally they come and get me, and at like 3 in the morning they process me in. They say, we don't know what to do with you, so we're just putting you down in a regular tank with prisoners here. They're waiting for trials. So I tell them, let's go. Fuck it, let's go. They say, you're only going to be here a couple of days. So I go down the tank. Ooh, I crash out. Next morning, dude brings me some coffee. I'm out in the fucking tank with these dudes, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm teaching them how to do some law, how to beat some cases, shit, gun, stuff. And then I catch a flight out of there. And I'm going to the Federal Transfer Center.